In this quarantine, when we are not able to get out of our home and we cannot ride our motorcycle, it is very important for us to take care of this machine that we ride so that when this quarantine goes away, we can ride it like we stole it. So, this is Shaunak. You're watching my YouTube channel Motorid, and today we are talking about 5 things to do to maintain the health of your bike and how you can keep your bike healthy in this quarantine situation. Let's get it going. So maintaining a motorcycle is always the toughest part of owning a motorcycle, and I'll admit that I am not the best person to talk to you about that. There are many other people who do it in a better way and would have different options or opinions that they use to their motorcycle, which can prove to be a better example. But I thought of talking to you guys and talking about 5 things that I personally do when I encounter this situation. There are 5 different steps that you would need to follow. So number 1, cleaning and lubricating a motorcycle. We often want our motorcycles to be clean, and that's the reason we often wash it. Now, it should not just be done because of the fact that it looks good. It should be done because it protects your paint that is there on your motorcycle and also stops your motorcycle from gathering rust on the metal surfaces. And that is the main reason why we should wash our bikes periodically so that the rust doesn't stay on the metal surface. Now, in this situation, when a motorcycle is spending more time in the garage rather than running in the street, it tends to absorb more moisture from the environment, which in turn would basically result in rust being gathered upon on your metal surface, and that basically reduces the longevity of the motorcycle and you will encounter multiple problems. So what you should do to overcome this is that you should at least clean your motorcycle. You should at least clean your motorcycle once in every 2 weeks in order to get this rust off and get all of the dirt off from your paint so that it stays in good shape. So now that we have talked about getting the motorcycle washed, the second point that we need to talk about is checking and maintaining the battery of the motorcycle. As you know that every motorcycle has a battery inside of it. Now what the battery does is basically gives the motorcycle the initial power of electricity that's required to start an engine. Now when the battery has the electricity inside of it, it's no issue. But it tends to happen that over the time, when the battery is kept without in use, which means that you have not ridden your motorcycle for a longer period of time, what may happen is your battery will drain out and it won't recharge, and as a result you won't be able to crank your motorcycle, and then you're basically stuck with a dead engine. Hence, it is a good practice for you to at least start the engine of the motorcycle for at least 2 to 3 minutes and keep it running. What happens is the rotor of the bike, which is inside the engine, basically starts spinning, and that is where from the motorcycle generates the current that gets stored inside the battery, and it is basically used once you switch off the battery and start it again in the next time. That current is used to get that ignition motor started. So you would want to at least keep the engine running once in every week for 2 to 3 minutes in order to avoid the situation of a dead engine or a dead battery. Now for the point number 3. Now this is not something that many people will speak to you about, and this is not something that many people maintains or does in order to keep the motorcycle safe. But it is a very important point if you don't want to spend a lot of money. The third point is cleaning your tire. Now, it seems silly that, why would you clean your tire when it's the dirtiest part of the motorcycle? It is always in contact with the road. Then why should you clean it? So you might have taken out the motorcycle into the mud. The problem is that when you go over the mud sticks onto your tire, right? And your tire has grooves in it. Now, when you keep the bike for a longer period of time with that mud on your tire, what it will do is the mud will slowly dry off, which will basically expand and put pressure on your grooves. Now, if this mud is kept on for a long period of time and the tire is not moving, then basically it will crack your tire. So in the next time when you basically try to take out that motorcycle for a fun ride, you may end up with a flat tire, and worse, you may end up changing your tire, spending a 5,000 bucks, 5,000 rupees for that. So it is always a good option to clean the tire when you are keeping your motorcycle for a longer period of time parked at your garage. Now, the fourth point is optional, okay? So this completely is based upon where do you live and what kind of condition are there where you live at. So the fourth point is checking the wires periodically. So what happens is, if your garage is in an area wherein you have lots of rats, those rats would tear up your wire, they would chew your wire. So what you should do is, when you are washing your bike once in every 2 weeks, you should also check for all of your wires that are exposed directly in the motorcycle, so that you can see if there is a breakage in the wire. And if you do see any breakage, and if you don't understand what that wire is for, never ride the motorcycle. If possible, call a mechanic and have him look at it and let him identify what wire is broken, or get your motorcycle towed to the nearest service station. Do not ride the motorcycle with a broken wire. You never know what wire that is. Now, coming to the last point is use your kickstand to park the motorcycle. Now, this is a very controversial topic and people will differ from my views, and my views can differ from other people's. Now, what I think best for a motorcycle to be parked, either for a longer period of time or whatever it is, it should be parked on your kickstand, not on your central stand. And there is a reason for that. So for example, if you have your garage where you park your motorcycle, if the ground is uneven, you would not want to have your motorcycle parked on the center stand. You should always keep it on your kickstand. Second, if your garage has a soft soil, then you should never park your motorcycle on the center stand. It would sink in to the ground. You should always keep your motorcycle on a kickstand and use a stone or a slab to place that kickstand over the soil so that your stand doesn't go in the soil. Also, if your motorcycle is parked in an area where your motorcycle is being exposed to heavy wind, you should never park your motorcycle on a center stand, because the center stand is more likely to come off on a heavy wind rather than having it on a kickstand and probably keeping that motorcycle in the gear, not in neutral. So again, this is my view and people will differ from this point because this is a very controversial point and people have different views on this. But from my end, I think it's always better to keep a motorcycle on the kickstand and not on the center stand. So these are the 5 things that you should consider doing in this quarantine situation to keep your motorcycle healthy. Let me know in the comment section if you like the points that I mentioned and if you're doing this on a daily basis or at this point of time. And if you have any question, drop it down in the comment section and we'll talk about it. Also, if you like this video and you think that it is helpful for you, please hit the like button and share this with your friends so that they can also know how to keep their motorcycles safe and healthy. Also, to be updated on my latest videos that I release on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and click on that bell notification icon so that you get a notification whenever I upload a new video. Till the next time, stay home, stay safe. We can ride later. Thank you.